becoming a professional bass player. My name's Deborah and this is the video journal of my career transition. And that was the bass line to About Damn Time by Lizzo. So that's in the set for Divine Funk, and actually it's really handy having these videos because it means that regardless of how busy my day is, I have to brush that off and start the day with Divine Funk and reminding myself of the bass lines. So yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you. I'm just going to turn my amp off so that you don't get any reverberation. So lots to tell you, and I'm going to start with some really exciting news. I was chatting to Digital City Radio last week about what they're doing, and they were telling me about their advertising campaigns because I'm looking at doing some marketing and advertising, and I thought, right, I'm going to have a go at this. So I booked a radio campaign. So that meant that we had to get a radio ad made lickety-split. So yesterday I was doing two things. Firstly, I did my usual, do you remember I was telling you about atomic habits? Well, one of the atomic habits I have now is that I go to Waitrose every Thursday morning before I go to the gym. And I use that time, as well as doing my top-up shop, to sit and plan for the business every week. So I've got sort of 20 minutes of uninterrupted headspace. And I sat in Waitrose Cafe and I wrote the script for the commercial. It's really difficult to say all the things that you want to say in a short space of time. And I was really thankful, actually. My dear friend, who's also a Deborah, who lives over there, my neighbour, came into the cafe. So I stopped her and I said, right, let me read this out to you because it's difficult. I know what an immersive disco is. So I actually need somebody who doesn't know what an immersive disco is to say, you know, does that make sense? Did you get a good understanding of what was on offer when I read you that? And she was really helpful. And then I had to, and I chose to do this without AI actually, because I think AI is very good and very useful. And I sometimes use it for things. If I've really quickly got to get a website up or something like that, it's great. But when you want to pull people in, I don't think you can beat, you know, a human being grappling with the words, you know, grappling, you know, thinking about what they want to communicate. I'll give you a good example actually. Mother Cherry, who's the priest at St Mark's, she once did a sermon in AI just to see how it went, particularly as they have a lot of sermons to give, you know, if you've got a few churches that you're working at. And I couldn't put my finger on it. She didn't tell us until a week afterwards, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just thought, oh, that's interesting. What Mother Cherry says, normally there's a phrase or something touches me at some point or speaks to me and says, yes, that bit's for me, or I resonate with that bit. Nothing. I realised on the way home, I thought, gosh, I listened to the whole service there and I was, you know, and I put it down to me. I thought I must have just been in another world today, as you know, I sometimes am. And then the week after, Mother Cherry said, actually, I did that one with ChatGPT just to see what would happen. So that was useful to me. I thought when I'm doing my radio adverts, I don't want that to happen. I want people to have the opposite experience. I want people to be able to feel my genuine passion for this and what a great creative product. It's not all my creativity, is it? It's everybody's creativity is in this and how much has gone into it. So I need to write it myself. I need to say it myself. And then I thought, right, we're going to need some music. So I had to sort of just craft a quick bass line and a quick sort of disco track, or sort of a disco track, and ring up my friend Joe from the Fickle Pickle, who's been doing our sound at all of our gigs and for Truly Red and for Divine Funk. And I said, Joe, right, can you help me out? Can we put this together really quickly? And I got the Angels of Funk. That's what we call our vocalists. That's Kaylee, Mark and Georgia. The Angels of Funk that came down and did some harmonies and sang the lines. and we put it all together. I'm really pleased with it. So I will try and find a way of sharing that with you on here. You know me, I have to work out the technology afterwards, but just really exciting. I'm really excited to see what that's going to do. We've also got some editorial coming out today in Southend Echo. So they're featuring, the first immersive disco in Southend. Well, certainly the first one at the Railway Hotel. And, featuring photographs and quotes from myself and Jamie. I've booked the advertising in the Lee Oracle for April. So yeah, let's see. It's starting. Momentum is starting to build. Now, behind me, let me see if I can switch modes mid-film. Can I? What I've done there is I've just switched from cinematic, which blurs out the behind and hopefully gives me a lovely sort of Marlene Dietrich fuzz of gorgeousness. And I've put it into focus now because I've gone into football manager mode. We've got quite a lot of gigs coming up. So because we have like exclusivity at the Railway Hotel, so you can't see Divine Funk in Southend at any other ticketed venue. We can do private gigs, but we can't do any other ticketed venue because Jamie's booked us as an exclusive. So that's great, but it means we've got our gigs lined up. We wanted to do quarterly. So we've got spring, summer, autumn and winter. We're playing on the 25th of April, as you know, the 18th of July, the 12th of September, and right at the end is the 19th of December. And I've also got a date in there for a very special person's wedding. So we're just... we've booked that in. Now, I'm going to introduce you to the band, but you can see that already, like a bit like a football manager, I've got to work out what team I'm going to field. And I only work with good musicians, so there isn't really a best team. They're all fabulous players. So at the moment, let me take you through our regular team. So the first chairs on all the instruments for Divine Funk are Andy Frost on the drums, obviously myself on the bass, Ray Garcia on lead guitar, Dom Chicamo percussion, Ollie Wyatt on trumpet, the beautiful Georgina Field on saxophone, Dan Rothwell on trombone, or bone as it is here. And then we've got our vocalists, Georgia, Mark and Kaylee. So that's Georgia Pollock, Mark Hardy and Kaylee Johnson. So, I mean, that's without even talking about the dancers and... because sometimes we have to work out what subs we're going to have for those, and obviously Martha is indispensable. But that's my board. So I've shown you all the photographs, and then obviously people have holidays, they have jobs, they have family celebrations. So I can't always have the first chair in the hot seat. So I have to work out my subs, and I'm very, very fortunate through going to things like the Jazzmix Music School, or going to Jazz 825 at the Palace Hotel, or going to the Jazzmix at Chalkwell Park Rooms and the Maritime Rooms, and mixing, and Facebook, I have to say, is really helpful. I've got a sort of plethora of other great musicians that I know, and I only really want to work with people that are easy. And it's not just being a good player, it's being fun and easy to work with, and being punctual and learning the stuff. That's what makes a good team member, and it really is a team. So I've got a few spaces to fill. I haven't quite filled the board in yet because I need to put everybody's dates on there. On the 25th of April, we've got Lynn Walker joining us. And she's a superb saxophonist. That's because Georgina is out in doing regional theatre, and she's also in the stage play about Wilko Johnson. So Lynn is very kindly joining us on the sax. And so I'll be filling that in this week so that we've got a cracking lot of musicians at every show. And the last thing to tell you about really today is the Jazzmix. I went to the Jazzmix on Wednesday. Phil Mulford was playing. Now, Phil Mulford is the guy that set up Talking Low, you know, that bass group that I go to every third Tuesday. So it's this Tuesday coming up for me in London, and it's open to all bass players of every level. Now, Phil Mulford is, quality-wise, right at the top of the tree there, and he's the guy that set it up. And he was coming to Southend on Wednesday to play in Dave Ital's band. So Dave Ital is, if you watch Top of the Pops 2, you will see Dave Ital on many, many occasions. So many occasions that he probably had his own parking space. So Dave Ital is always on Top of the Pops 2. He's played with so many people, and Michael Crook asked him to put together a band for the Jazzmix, and he put together something called Dave Ital and Friends. Oh my goodness, it was superb. So we had a guy called Arden on the keyboards, and he's the keyboard player for Sister Sledge. We had a chap called Simon Bates on saxophone. Oh my goodness. Oh, it was so easy. You know, when the sax is played beautifully well, it gives you such a lovely, easy feeling in your body. And, I can't remember the guy, Laurie, I think it was Laurie Lee. I might put a correction in with that when I've looked it up, because, you know, I like to just do these in one take rather than back and forth. And a fantastic vocalist who, Janine Johnson. Oh my goodness, total powerhouse vocals. Anyway, they were just so much fun. Lovely, lovely energy. And because Dave Ital got to choose what tunes he wanted to do, he did some of the things he did I didn't know, you know, so they're not, you know, big hits. And then other times he did stuff that's like really commercial, but because he wants to do it. So he did Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan, and Janine really put her own take on that, and it was just the last one they played, we went nuts. But then there was another one I wanted to tell you about this, because this is just, we're so blessed in Southend with the musicians that we get to see. They did Funking for Jamaica. I didn't know what that song was called for a long time. I thought it was called Gotta Get Into You, because it's that one that goes, gotta get into you, you know, gotta get into you. I remember the Builders next door were playing that for ages, and I was trying to find it. Look, what the heck is that? And they played that, but that's got a really standout trumpet line at the beginning. And my friend Graham, who does the sound at the Jazzmix, is a trumpet player. And just at the beginning of the show, Dave came over and says, "Oh, you know, Graham, we want to play Jamaica Funk. Can you just stick some trumpet on it?" And nobody really knew this was going to happen. So right from the back of the room, right at the end of the set, this beautiful trumpet rings out. And then Graham walks on and just plays the whole of Jamaica Funk absolutely perfectly. It was exquisite. I was so pleased for him because it went so well. And it just, that kind of spontaneity electrifies an audience. So they're very special experiences to take part in. What's the time? I've got to go. I've got clients to see. I've got, you know, stuff to finish off here. I've got subs board to fill in accurately. I've got to stick some photos in this video so that you can see what people look like. I've got things to do. So have you. So I will see you next week. I'll be back on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.